Now, I don't have an exact upload schedule, but I usually try and get something up on like the weekend. Sunday, does really well. Um, but of course, my last week was so messed up. I never got anything done for uploading. But the goal was to get this N15 broke down so I can get the crank out. Right now I'm set up on the crank grinder to do Norton, so I'd like to get this thing out and find out if we need to do it. As much fun as it would be to do a full breakdown and show you step by step on how to take this apart, I don't really have time. Plus, 45-minute to 1 hour long videos don't do very well. So what I'm going to do instead is just get it out of there. We'll do some good videos when I assemble it, but as far as just getting this thing apart so I can get it ground is kind of my main objective. What I'll probably do is maybe once I get to just the bottom end by itself, I'll show you kind of my guess, I guess what I'll say. I like to just play with the rods and then kind of make I think this or I think that. But that all being said, if I get into it and something is like crazy surprising, then yeah, I'll show you. But for the most part, it's just going to be let's get this crank out. Depending again on how things go, because I got to get this done by tonight. It'd be cool to get the crank ground too if that needed to be done, or maybe we'll just prep it. I don't know, because I would like to also balance this, but I gotta wait on the H-beam rods, and those are on back order from Hepalite, blah blah blah. So let's just get the crank out. All right, well, here's our first little surprise. I pulled the head off, and this had already been scratched away where well, first of all, the head bolts were loose, so that tells you something there. But somebody had already scratched away the piston size on both of these. Well, not so much this one, but clearly somebody scratched it to see what it said, and it's at 60, so that's a bummer. I actually do have another set of these spigoted cylinders. I've never measured them before, so I could sleeve these. I don't want to. I'm really hoping that other set I have are good, but I can already see like there's a huge gouge in that one, so even with these being at 60, there's no way, and I'm doubting I can ever take it. If I could even find 80s, I don't want to take it to 80. So, yeah, update for you there. Not cool. So this is a very aggressive hone. Usually you see this when somebody's just doing like a fluff and buff. So it got pulled apart. Let me lay it down like that. It got pulled apart. Do a quick rough. You can see, maybe you can, I don't know. There's like a black through line right here, and then that hone is like over top of it, so you can tell it's worn and the hone just kind of touched where it did and where it didn't. This is the other fluff and buff. God, I hate this. I know that, I've had old guys debate with me about this. I don't care what other people's opinions are. I just personally do not like knurling. I don't think this is actually fixing a problem that you have. If your cylinders are worn, they're worn. Trying to raise the surface area of the skirt and make it bigger is just not an answer to a problem. I don't understand why creating an abrasive surface on a piston is a good idea. I know there's bulletins out there that say if you need to take up a few thousandths that this will do it. You know what else fixes it? Just getting oversized pistons and doing it right. So again, it's not a debate I like to have because you're never going to change my mind. But yeah, this is just some half-assed cheap boy finish, or fix, I should say. Either way, that being said, the crank, there's obviously the lateral play, which you want, but these rods don't twist or anything, and they're not knocking back and forth, so that's a good sign. They've been marked drive side and timing side, so they have been apart, obviously, but no red flags or anything like that. It doesn't look like anything's had a hammer on it yet either, which is also great. So just I would guess, 70s or 80s or maybe even 90s kind of fluff and buff on this at some point. But I don't think we're going to be able to do anything with these cylinders, so they're going to go in the pile. Maybe one day they'll get sleeved if somebody really needs a set. But like I said, I got a set of these at home. I don't know what they measure. Let's just hope that they are smaller than 60. If we have to do the set at home at 60, I'm happy with that, but I can't go any further with those. So I'm going to proceed with this. I'm probably going to open up the timing chest next, but I just thought I'd show you guys that horrible knurling on those pistons. Also, if your pistons have this relief in the side, they're known to fracture along this gas relief, cutaway, whatever you want to call that. But it comes up and it's really thin through here. So pretty much the only thing holding the top on is from here to here. And they're known for breaking and the top comes off. I actually have a video on my Instagram from way back in the day where I had an engine where the whole top of the piston had come off. It was a mess. But okay, my bench is a mess right now. I've got a P11 crank that needs to be balanced. Got to clean up the rods for it. I've got a Commando crank that needs to be balanced, and I got rods for it and the pistons for it. And then I've got this one here is my crank I prepped the other day. I was gonna use this as stock to sell, see if anybody wanted it, but I may actually just use it to replace this, depending. I'm about to pull these rods off, but I wanted to point out something here. If you look along there, there's that machined edge, and that tells me this crank got ground assembled, because you can't actually come in and hit that inner journal radius right here properly with the flywheel still in place. So somebody ground this thing assembled, and that's why this edge has been shaved, because the wheel was rubbing against it. Not the right way to do that. So we're going to pull these rods off and see. I have a feeling the radius is going to be stepped, because there's no way, I don't know, eyeballing it, it doesn't look like they would have been able to come all the way in. I don't actually know what the offset is, but I know it's enough. So let's pull these rods off. So that discoloration is usually water damage. I don't have any evidence to say for sure, but these don't look to be like run. I mean, they've got some good scoring there. I'm assuming, again, since this crank didn't get split, there was probably trash in the crank that got spit out of the oil holes, and then it just grooves right down the center like that. You see it a lot. I was right, though. There is a lip here leading in. It was ground to 10. It's actually still in spec. I mean, there's a little taper in the journal itself. So, like, I'm not leaving it, but it is a bummer. It was very close, but just not quite. But this radius looks great, but as you come over, there's a definite step to where this flywheel was touching the grinding wheel. So I'm still trying to decide. I prepped this one the other day. Like I said, I was going to grind it and just have it for stock, see if somebody needed it. But now I'm kind of thinking I may just set this one to the side and do it later and just utilize that crank. So that might be the way we do it. I was going to lay this all out really nice and talk about it, but I really got to get back to work on some stuff for Red Cloud. So I'm going to kind of just... I guess leave this here for now, as far as where the video's at. But the cases look good. I'm really happy. There's no damage. It doesn't look like anybody who wasn't qualified to be doing work went in and ruined anything. So that's always a good sign. Same goes for this timing side case. There's really no major damage, so that's really nice. The gasket surfaces look good. It's just nothing really suspicious going on, which really makes me happy. So even our oil pump must be tight, because this engine was not sumped. The tank is full, but that crank was full of oil, like really full. But you know, this didn't have some obnoxious amount of oil in the bottom end, which is a good sign for those pumps. So there was definitely some red silicone on that rubber for the anti-sump valve. But anyway, the head has been disassembled and sandblasted at some point, but not properly rebuilt or anything. We already discussed how poorly done the cylinders were. We still obviously need to tear down the transmission, but again, from what I can tell, it hasn't been like beat up or abused or anything, which is nice. It just needs new seals and bearings, and it should be good. I mean, I say that, but until we get in there and see what the gears look like, I won't know. But like I said, I was hoping to have something a little bit better to show you guys out of video, but this may just have to do. At least we know what the internals of this thing look like. But I got to get something done. I'm behind, and this takes too much time to film. So to make this video worth even uploading, I'm going to talk about a few other things since we aren't going to wrap up anything Norton related, because I do need to edit and upload tonight. I'm going to talk about some of the Red Cloud stuff. I think I have in the past a little bit in some of these other videos, but I'm actually in the midst of working on this one. He ordered everything through Dan, so I got all my favorite parts as far as like kibble white stuff. We're running the uncoated valves, which are still amazing. I really like them. Beehive springs, which are my favorite, and so it always just looks so much cooler. They come with the obviously the smaller retainer and the proper keepers to go with, and so everything together just is going to look so good. This is a 59 head, so it is an 8-bolt, but it is in amazing shape. I got the guides in the other day. I think I might have shown, I buffed the combustion chambers just for fun. This head is going off for polish along with everything else, so I need to get what I'm going to do done, and then I'm going to just kind of like tape up my bits that I want to stay kind of safe. Elite polishing is really good about being, nice to things, so I don't really need to worry about it. It's just a little less cleanup for me later. I am going to be assembling this when Elite's done, but intake and exhaust valves are going to get matched to these seats, so I'm going to cut 30, 45, 60s on these. They're a little deep. They're not bad. I really shouldn't have much problem. The guides went in nice and concentric to the seat. I do need to hone the inside diameters really quick, so I'll go up and do that. But before I make this thing all gross and dirty, I wanted to kind of show it off because it is a really, really nice head. None of the bolt holes are cracked, which is unheard of, and so just overall they found a really good head. So I'm gonna get that done. I do have the cylinder done. It is a Wellworthy. I'll show that once I get it cleaned back up. They had it vapor blasted. I think they vapor blast themselves. And I'm just going to say right now, go watch Red Cloud's videos because he's doing videos of him building it. So their YouTube channel is Red Cloud Collective, so go check them out. I'm not good enough to put like a link or anything in the video, but go Google it or search it, whatever. But yeah, he's updating pretty frequently, so go watch him. Yeah. This is Seth's Wellworthy cylinder. And man, I think I've already talked about this, but it is just so nice. It was at 40 over when I got it, so I took it to 60. But it cleaned up beautifully, looks really good. There was a little bit of an issue at the top of one of the cylinders, but everything should be fine. Nice and flat, no broken fins. I mean, usually these things are so chewed up or the skirts are broke or whatever, but this one is very, very nice. So they vapor blasted before they sent it. I am now going to, again, I think I'm just being paranoid. Elite polishing does a really good job, but I am going to tape up this top gasket surface and then kind of seal up bottoms of the skirts there. When I get it back, I have to put the kibble white tappet blocks in it and set those up. They do need to be honed to match the followers, and so there's a little bit left to do on this, but it needs polished first before all of those final steps. So when I did Tom Heavy's polished Wellworthy's, he had them polished first and then I did it, and it was not fun. I was being so paranoid and over the top protective of them because I really didn't want to damage them. I don't want to damage cylinders anyway, but there's just something about a mirror polish that makes it a lot harder to work with. Same with the head. So I'm having all the machine work done first, then I'll get it polished and then reassemble it after. So a little less stressful this way. All right, to wrap up this video, I just wanted to show I got this head finished. Seats cut really nicely. They have very nice, narrow seats, good contact. I lapped them in. I'm going to put just a little bit of black tape just kind of in here. Again, he does a great job, but I just kind of want to keep the seats protected just in case. You never know. It's worth it. So on the bottom, I'll put a little bit of tape around here, just enough. And then I think for the top, I'm just going to stick earplugs in the top just to kind of keep a lot of the grit out. Again, I'm going to have to flush and clean all this anyway, but, you know, it's nice to have just a little bit of protection. It makes me feel like I'm at least trying. So next time we see these, they will be fully polished, so that's very cool, and it'll all get cleaned back up. But some of you may remember Tom's. It's pretty much the same setup, same Wellworthy, and nice, good condition head. I believe Elite already has the rocker boxes. I sent out the bottom end a while ago. I think he already did the transmission and everything, so yeah, it's all going to look really good. I won't have the transmission. I'll just be doing the engine, but I did get a crank pulled for him, so I'm going to get that ground and balanced. And yeah, so I'm going to get this boxed up and put these to the side, and we're done.